Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. Michael Zuber, one rental at a time. We've got the boys from Convoy, Jonathan and Dustin, or sometimes I joke, Justin. I just think that's funny. It sounds funny in my head. How you guys doing?
Good. How are you?
You know what, folks? If you reach out to, what's the email you want them to use again?
Private client at convoyhomeloans.com.
Do me a favor. If you're coming from one rental at a time, just address him as Justin. I think that's so funny.
You're one of us, so it's fine.
Exactly. It's one of the two guys. It's just call him Justin. It's easier.
Yeah.
Well, hey, one of the things that I'm excited about, I know my channel is excited about, is last week or the last time we talked, we teased the idea of a second mortgage. If you go back in our playlist, probably 4 months, I believe I came out and said, whoever in the non-QM space creates a second mortgage is going to dominate. Little did I know that you guys were either already working on or took that and ran with it. You are on the cusp of announcing a second. Why is this important to guys like me? Well, over the last couple of years, I've taken great pains to lock in 30-year fixed rate money sub 4%. That's awesome. But now I've got piles and piles of equity, and I ain't changing that first. No, sir. But I don't mind a second. 8%, maybe 9%. It's okay. The blended average is still going to be okay. And you announced last week we might have something coming. So tell us about it. What's coming? What's the latest? What do we know? What we don't know? Let's go.
Yeah. So, I mean, in terms of like qualifying for a second, I mean, we currently already have, just to clarify, we have a full doc, like second position loan for investment properties that is very useful, but it's full doc. Right. That's the problem that usually gets us. So just to clarify, we have a bank statement qualification second coming out. So instead of qualifying off of, tax return, 2 years of documents, all of that, we has just 12 months of bank statements. And we actually got clarification, even if it was full doc, they're only going back for 1 year. So obviously 2020 was a really bad year for a lot of people on their tax returns, especially self-employed people. With their bank statements showing PPP money, and then they, taking this out, taking that out. So, only having 1 year of full doc, is also a huge win, because a lot of people are going to file 2021 if they're self-employed in the next, few months, and they're going to be able to kind of take advantage of the higher income. And then also potentially, if that still doesn't work, we can go off 12 months of bank statements. So kind of what we are kind of working and finalizing is on the full doc side. I mean, potentially, we can go up to like 85% loan to value on these investments. On bank statement, if you're qualifying on just bank statements, 12 months, it's 80% combined loan to value. So
not bad. Better than I expected. If you were going to tell me to guess ahead of time, I'd have said 75. So going to 80, that's an extra 5%. That's good.
Yeah, and it really makes a difference, right? Because especially going into like, it's funny, Dustin and I were both listening to your morning live session. We tune in daily as well.
Oh, wow.
But we were just kind of listening to you talk about how the housing market is kind of in a it's gonna be tough, right?
Yeah.
Obviously we are a big proponent, big part of the housing market itself.
Sure.
So I think having these type of products is going to help a lot for people that are trying to invest, right? Because a depression in the housing market or decrease in the housing market allows for opportunity, like we've been talking about for months. And it'd be a great time to be able to tap into whatever equity they have before any like decline in values start happening too much, to be able to tap in and then be able to use that equity to put towards another house or another flip or whatever.
Yeah. I know there's a lot of, again, I got a lot of comments on our videos, and I even got a lot of private messages going, I can't wait. I can't wait. What's Convoy got? Tell me. They're like, they think I have the inside scoop. I'm like, guys, these are all live conversations. I have no idea where they're going. I don't have any secret information. Everything I know is in that video. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah. So it's definitely still being like finalized out. We were expecting it to come out, August 1st, but taking a little longer than expected. But the way that it works is it's going to be a second loan. So that's 100% determined. It's not going to be like a line of credit that you can.
So no line of credit, no HELOC, just a second loan. Totally fine. Okay, that's fine.
Second position loan, the maximum combined loan amount is going to be $5 million.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's a lot. So that's obviously for your viewers that don't know, CLTV is combined loan to value, first and second.
Mhm.
Combined loan amount means first plus second, max 5 million.
Understood.
And in terms of the terms that it'll come out as, there's going to be 10-year options, 15, 20, 30. And if you go 30-year fixed option, there's also a 10-year interest only with a 20-year fully amortizing following. So
Okay.
that allows for even at 9%, which, we're really excited for, because the current second or investment property line of credit slash, HE loan, whatever we have, for the second position only is 30-year fixed or 15-year fixed.
Yep.
So having the flexibility of having an interest only period for 10 years as like a true second loan allows payments to be a lot lower, right? So even if it's a 9%, it won't feel like a 9%. It'll feel more like maybe like a 5% or 4.5%, right?
Yeah. So let me ask you some questions about this, because I want to make sure I get some, because again, I got a lot of private notes on this. They're so excited. Again, we've said investment loans a couple of times. I just want to make sure the definition of investment is known. So that's obviously rental homes, duplexes, quads, whatever. How about apartment buildings?
That's tougher.
Okay. So it has to be residential.
Has to be residential.
Okay. That's all right. I'm glad I asked. Minimum credit scores?
680.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah.
DSCR limits, like total DSCR in the building?
It's not even going off that. It's just a full doc 1 year or bank statement for 12 months.
So it is residential loans, 4 and below, 680 minimum credit score. Let me think about other questions I got. I'm talking about the process. It's kind of this, a second is the same as a first, right? The process not longer or shorter. It just is what it is.
Exactly. It's like, you could probably expect like 30 days.
Appraiser will be required.
Yep. To make sure, and especially going into this market, we kind of touched on it before, but we're entering into a kind of it's going to start seeing like declining markets, right? On the appraisal that we talked about. So appraisals are going to probably play a bigger and bigger part in every transaction going forward. Just because of that notation, that the declining market notation, like it's just gonna, it's gonna be crucial. But we're not looking at debt coverage ratio, just income, and appraisals. Yes, still needs.
Okay. So, you know what? Let's start stacking your pipeline. So if you're in one rental at a time, and this is of interest to you, like it is to me, because I have assets with very low firsts that aren't going to get refined, but I might look for a second just to get access to more dry powder. How do you want them to reach out?
Email privateclient@convoyhomeloans.com and let us know you're from ORAT.
Yeah, coming from ORAT, let them know what you're interested in, just so you're kind of in that warm queue. Because again, I think where these guys are at is they're basically trying to make sure you have buyers for the product, make sure what they want so that you can know what the loan looks like, so everybody wins. And then maybe it's August 1st, maybe it's August 8th, who knows? But it sounds like this is coming. So if this is of interest to you, privateclient@convoyhomeloans.com. Tell them you came from ORAT. Get in the queue so they take care of you. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.